Like to call the May Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
Move to approve.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to do a roll call vote actually for this.
Laura Sowerman,
Yes.
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa,
Yes.
Aaron McDermott,
Yes.
Craig Slauson,
Yes.
So moved. Nothing under old business, new business, the facade grant at 100 South Main Street.
Thank you. I'm actually here presenting on behalf of Frank and Livia Senafonte. They unfortunately are ill and could not make it. This is for 100 South Main Street, which is the massage school right across the street. They had already been in front of the board in February of 2025, where they were paid $20,020.43 for facade work that was done. The time when that presentation was made, they were still waiting on quotes for exterior painting. They're looking to paint all exterior bricks similar to what is there now, with adjacent brick darker, the existing side door white, iron rail, and the decorative beams and post. Everything is just getting a fresh coat. They received a quote of $22,664.47. With the amount we've already given them, as we will approve up to $25,000, that would give them a remaining balance to be approved of $4,979.57 if the board is willing to.
Thank you. Any questions about this facade grant? And what was the reasoning again? Did you say that they just there was an additional bill?
Yeah, it was just additional billing for additional work being done that they did not have a quote when they had started the previous work and come to the board a couple months ago. This did go in front of the Historic Preservation Commission last week, where it did receive a grading score of, I believe, 60.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Josh, you said the color would be similar to.
Yes. Yeah, everything's going to be the exact same, just a nice fresh coat.
Any other questions or comments? Not, the chair will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the additional
$4,979.57.
that would be toward the paint of the outside along with staff comments.
Thank you. I'll second that motion. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in, well, sorry, do a roll call for the vote.
Laura Sowerman,
Yes.
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa,
Yes.
Aaron McDermott,
Yes,
Craig Slauson.
Yes.
so moved. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 101 to 107 West Joliet Street facade grant, final payment.
Randy Sequeiros, 116 West Clark Street, Crown Point. I got a call this afternoon saying I was on the agenda, and I be honest, I really wasn't prepared to come. But they said be here at 5:30, so here I am. But I can answer any questions you folks have.
Do you want to, I guess, give a summary for some of the new board members on the, obviously this, the application is long long time ago when it
Yeah.
started.
Yep.
So if you wouldn't mind giving a history.
Yeah,
background of the
so
whole thing.
the main kind of portion of the product was replacement of the storefront glass, the windows, and the masonry restoration. Masonry restoration is done, storefront glass is done, second floor windows are done. The thing that's kind of held us up is the third floor windows. The contractor that did the work, we paid him, all the materials were at the building. He was involved in a major car accident and that kind of delayed things. A lot of excuses. We were all set to go in the spring, and he died a couple of days before the project was supposed to start. His son was going to take over, finish the job, and there were some issues, but we're lining up a new contract to finish within a month. I think we'll have everything wrapped up. So that's kind of where we're at with it.
Okay. And the initial application was, what was the original date on it?
The original date on that was June 3rd, 2019. And the reason we of $100,000 is we grant up to $25,000 per side. Mr. Securis has 3 storefronts and then the side of the building along Main Street. So we did approve those 3 sides. We did not approve the back. We have gone over to look. The work has been finished. There are a couple windows on the 3rd floor, but they were not part of the original window count. And as for the time frame of roughly almost just shy of 6 years, just remember this is similar to Kitty Academy, which received its initial approval in 2017 and got its final payment in 2023 as well. When it comes to those dates and those timeframes, that's something the board staff needs to discuss as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we'll address that later. At least my intention or any other business. But yeah, it's a basic background for those that were, I think it was probably my first year, maybe even on the board. So I don't know if anyone has any comments. Basically made application 6 years ago. Within the documents, I think we said so the work has to be completed within 90 days of us granting. We have made an exception in the past, probably I would imagine a few maybe within the 90 days. Obviously the one with the large, 5 years. So the question is, we got him coming to us for 6 years later too. Does the board wish to proceed with it?
So Josh, you said we do have a little history. I mean, we have other precedents.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. As I said, Kitty Academy, which is the northeast corner of North Main and Summit, was another one. July 2017 is when they applied, and they received their final payment in 2023. So that was another 5 years. That's what we're looking at. So,
And what was the initial payment we've made? Because this is final payment, obviously. So what was our initial?
no,
outlay?
this is just for the final payout. And Mr. Securis, I don't know if you know the number offhand, but I want to say you're upwards of 600,000 into that building.
Yeah.
So far. So this would actually just be his payment.
Oh,
for
his
the work
payment,
that was
sorry.
done.
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess, technically, if Mr. Securis could have came back well before this, at the point in time that he had done a lot of this work to ask for this payment, I think he was waiting for possibly the entire thing to get completed.
Yes.
And I don't know that the work that he had applied for would have, in a perfect scenario, ever gotten done in 90 days. I don't know who could have done that in 90 days.
And considering shortly after he applied, the world shut down.
Mhm. Yep.
That was a big factor. Yep.
So I think when we talked about this at the Kitty Academy level as well, I think the conversation was the money was encumbered that year. It was budgeted that year. So it's not necessarily impacting this year's dollars. I mean, it was accounted for back at that point in time.
And that's still the case, correct? That we've actually allocated the dollars back. Is that true, Heather?
I do have a purchase
Yeah.
order from it
Okay.
for it, but from last year,
Okay.
because they'll only let me keep it open a year.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the request for SDR LLC.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call roll for the vote.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Andrew Karas,
Yes.
Brad Bossa,
Yes.
Aaron McDermott,
Yes,
Craig Slauson.
Yes.
so moved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is LCEA membership proposal.
Okay, Commission. Chris Slatis, President CEO of the LCEA. Back again, we've made a proposal back November of 2024. So it's been a little while. We had touched base briefly with commission member, just trying to see if there's interest again. They've one changed since November of last year. At the time we were phasing out the $1,000 membership level, but given the governor and the legislature's passage of SB1, we did bring that back because budgets are going to be a little more constrained now with the implications of that bill. So we do have the $1,000 level if that makes signing on as a member a little easier. We've also hosted several events since then that several of the staff here at Crown Point have and elected officials have been at, and just been generally getting a lot more active in the area. I believe the commission also had us representing a developer of Arcadia Cold Storage for the tax abate, personal property tax abatement. So again, just trying to see if there's interest in joining the LCEA, and if there's any questions or anything we can answer to help finalize a decision for the commission.
Thank you. Has the board had a chance to review the membership levels that are in front of you and have any questions or comments or recommendations?
I have a question. What have we done in the past?
The initial, when this initially started, I believe we were at the platinum level, but that was, like I said, when 2014. Since then,
Then we, then we went to the $5,000 level,
Mhm.
whatever they call it.
yeah, and that was maybe 2 or 3 years
And
ago.
we had a staff person on the board.
Mhm.
I move that we approve the request at the steel level for 1,000.
I could second that.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second for the steel level. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call for the vote.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa,
Yes.
Aaron McDermott,
Yes.
Craig Slauson.
Yes.
Thank you. We appreciate your support. Thank you again to Crown Point. Look forward to working with you in the future. And we, from the entire staff of the LCA is present right now. We love what you guys are doing. Your staff has been excellent to work with, and your business park out on I-65 has been keeping us busy with a lot of our state leads. So I would just say, keep knocking out of the park and doing what you guys do well. And keep on opening up properties for us to solicit to our future new businesses.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chris.
Thank you.
Should I do this under any other business? I want to talk about the application timeline.
Yeah, either that or just away.
Yeah, I'll do it. So remaining item on the agenda is any other business coming before the board. I'd like to bring up, the previous issue, I guess, somewhat that we've had with the facade grant program, and maybe have a dialogue on what the appropriate timeline is for us to do payouts. All things considered, obviously we had a pandemic with that, and we had some dialogue, I think the application right now says 90 days. Within 90 days of the application, the work needs to be completed. While I think that's extraordinarily quick sometimes for some of these projects, I think we probably need to come up with some sort of date range where, we just kind of drop the funds or move on. So I don't know what that looks like. I kind of thought in my head, I know Josh and I were talking maybe like a 2-year window where it can't go beyond that. And maybe they have to update us every 6 months after application of what's going on.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes,
to throw
please.
out there?
Yes.
One of the ideas I was just thinking about a little bit ago was what if we give them a year to complete the work and turn everything in? At the end of that year, if it's not done, they can come ask for a 6-month extension. At the end of that 6-month extension, we can allow up to one more with the stipulation of this is the last one, because of the 2-year mark, we can have those funds drop off. If Heather is able to have funds roll over for a year, and 2 years seems to be the cutoff, that would be, we're basically giving them 2 chances.
Yeah.
Outside of the initial to catch up before those funds are gone.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think it's reasonable. And I guess thinking they don't have to keep coming every 6 months, because if we're at the beginning of an application for financing and they're just starting this whole work,
They're
30,
trying to find the
yeah,
funds,
90
and
days
we're
is
just one
incredibly quick.
source
And then do we
all the
need
time.
somebody coming here? We're not ready, just to say we're not ready. So
And usually things run smooth. I can't think of any cases
Yeah.
where it's gone over a year. And to the petitioner's credit, the world catching
yes,
something and shutting down and then
Mhm.
having your contractor pass away. Those are 2 very extreme
yeah.
situations that we
Mhm.
don't get that often.
hmm
But I think a full year to get it done with 2 extensions is more than sufficient.
Yeah, I agree.
And Randy's project was,
Massive.
compared to what
Yeah.
we typically see at the board level, I mean, that was a huge deal there.
Correct. Yeah.
And there's probably nothing to say that we couldn't extend it beyond 2 years in an extreme situation, but probably need to have every 6 months, them coming in to give us update at least. But or maybe we just say no, it's after 2 years.
Well,
I don't know.
one thing I'll throw out, because I think 2 years is very reasonable.
Mhm.
Some of the work that's done in historic districts on Square have really specific kind of artisan, specialized craftsmanship that we're requesting and isn't always really easy to obtain. So there might be a special exception now and then. I mean, one of the things that Brandy had done, I know, were like special corbels to match an original one, and that had to be manufactured uniquely and specifically. We don't want that to go away because of time constraint either. We want the work to be done well, to be done right in the historic district. So just throwing that out in case there's a wording or something that,
Yeah, and I was even
but we don't want it to go on forever.
Yeah. Even like a brand new construction. I don't know if that qualifies for facade rebate, so to speak, but if somebody's doing a brand new construction, even, that might linger beyond 2 years. I think it's very, very, very rare. Okay. But
Why don't we request staff to come up with a proposal based on the discussion that's been presented so far, and we'll vote on it in our next meeting.
Yep, sounds good.
So
Right.
So if you'd like, we actually kind of started this process. We have 2 facade programs that basically have the same requirements, the same intent, except one has to go before the historic board. We've kind of combined those applications since they have basically all the same requirements. So we can provide you with one facade application with a new timeline. And within that application, it says if you fall within the historic district, then you have to follow these next steps. That'll probably help the board be on the same page with, is this a percentage basis? Is this all right, 25,000? So we'll provide that for you for
That makes sense.
review.
Yep.
And then we have one application to work with our business owner.
Okay.
So it's in for everybody.
Yep, that works.
We'll do that.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of invoices. I'll make a motion to approve list number 2025-5-031.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call for the vote, please.
Laura Sarman,
Yes.
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa.
Yes.
Aaron McDermott.
Yes,
Craig Slauson.
Yes.
so moved. Next, miscellaneous, anything? Chat boards. Yeah. All right, move for adjournment.
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Laura Sarman,
Yeah.
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa.
Yes.
Aaron McDermott.
Yes.
Craig Slauson.
Yes.
Yeah.